Apparently, I used to direct people. A good friend of mine, Connor, who took a role in the film we did, he told me that I used to always direct people in like the playground, like
Like
really
just tell them what
forcibly.
to
Like
do.
I'd be like, if you all do this, it's for everyone's good. It's going to be amazing. And I would like set up roles, and this is your motivation. If you try and do this,
So you were putting on little plays, or what were you doing?
kind of, yeah, sort of, but like more or less kind of state. I wanted it to be kind of natural for them to just kind of instinctively know what to do, and they would generally start having fun instead, and I would get really annoyed. So apparently, I did that a lot, and I remember doing that. So that could be the only other sort of indicator.
And when did the click happen? When did you decide I want to be a filmmaker?
I don't know. I think it still happened. I don't know. That's a really hard question. I think the desire was there, but it wasn't going to happen because I didn't have a clear picture of how to go about it. I didn't really feel like I had the know-how, and as well as that, I always thought that you needed a lot of money and stuff. So I think it just clicked more recently, whenever I started getting into the education work in film. So I was able to. It's just like being able to use digital technology made me realize. I think like it's really doable, and you don't need money, and it's possible and stuff. So I think it's that thing of just like most things, you might have a lot of ideas and the desire to do it, but it's just kind of starting. I think once you start, you're fine with anything, but it's just that initial step is a really difficult thing to get over for a lot of people in most things, you know. But it all kind of came together when I met a friend of mine, Paul McParland, he's a DP, a documentary filmmaker, and then we just kind of we clicked different influences. But I was already working on a screenplay, and then he wanted to shoot. Just that's all he wants to do, and he was passionate about it, and that's kind of all that matters. It doesn't matter the level of skill. If someone wants to do something, I believe they'll be good at it. So that was enough, really, and then we just kind of started fumbling through our own strange process of filmmaking from there. But
How the actual topic of the film?
it's a very meandering story about four people around my age, each with their own kind of concerns and different kind of positions in life and approaches to things, and it's just nothing true to nothing directly lifted from any kind of real events or anything, but it's more I sort of think of maybe I get an idea for a character, or I just think about things that I'm concerned with, and at that time it was people not communicating, particularly really certain really I think really things that are specific to Northern Ireland, like a type of communication where they'll skirt over things and say things are fine endlessly, and if they're not, and sometimes they don't really broach the real stuff. So you might know someone intimately, but not at times not really be able to communicate them. So that was a big part of it, and then just kind of like urban alienation and other really joyful sort of subjects, failure, professional failure, and just that thing to be young and to try to put your thumbprint in the world and maybe failing to do it. So I don't know, just kind of, and it sort of develops as you write, I think, as well. But
How important is Belfast, especially when you're writing this new one?
the new feature idea is actually trying to look at not Protestant identity in a broad way, but just through one person, like a kind of Protestant. It's very much in the personal framework, not the political. So it's not about like waving flags and kind of all this, but it's very much to do with someone's identity and then their behaviour, their family life, the kind of whole, maybe just characteristics that I've seen a lot and I know very well, coming from sort of East Belfast. And so it's about a very conventional kind of background, Christian Protestant kind of background, and a fairly conservative kind of individual who is on the brink of kind of some kind of realization about needing something else. So that's really to do with Belfast for me. I think it's all about the space and the land and what that actually means, and then they go somewhere else to kind of try to see if that makes sense. So I suppose it's supposedly going to be some kind of meditation on like what your identity actually is and what that does a specific place have anything to do with who you are or why you are the way you are and that kind of thing. So
Well, has the job thing been circling around your head?
there's no job applications. I just recently just decided I'm going to be a filmmaker, and just said if I say it loud enough and to everybody, somehow I'll be able to pay rent and stuff. So you this is 2 weeks in, a few credit cards, a few kind of, I don't know, we'll see. Come back in a year's time and it'll be like probably be doing something very different, but no, hopefully not. And hopefully like more people getting involved, and like risk taking. The risk taking should go further and further, I think, till it's really, cause that's what makes it exciting, that you're like, you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know where you're going to go. So I think that's how I kind of see it. If I can keep the stamina up